Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So I've had quite a few ideas for videos and we're finally gonna do one. So I have this list of 10 best book recommendation sites you need to know. I figured we would go through all 10 of them, and my goal is to vlog for a week, maybe 2 weeks, we'll see, for each of these sites, and we will pick 3 to 5. I'm editing Alita here. This video took a lot longer than I thought it would, so we are going to start this series kind of like I talked about already, but I wanted to make it more clear as to what we're going to be doing. So I have bookmarked 10 recommendation sites, and basically you put in a profile of the type of books that you like or different books that you've read that you've loved, and based on that they give you recommendations. So from now on in this series we are going to read 3 books for each site, and then I might have a few bonuses throughout, like I might be working on a TBR site, a TBR recommendation site that is not necessarily part of the 10 that I'm going to for sure do. This one is just another fun one. But to make it clear, we are going to read 3 books for each recommendation site. Today we are starting with Goodreads, and we are reading 3 books that Goodreads recommends for us. 2, well, 1 that I own physically, 1 that I own on my Kindle because I really need to read those books, and 1 that has been on my radar for a very long time, but I don't necessarily own it. Enjoy this video. I think I'm going to be popping in a couple more times because going over this footage, I have realized that there are things that I do not make very clear. Oh, so here. Bean! He's trying to kiss me inside my mouth. Mwah! He's cute, but not that cute. What do you guys think? If you think he's so cute, then please give this video a big thumbs up. Oh, you're gonna lick my thumb. Thumbs up. Alright, enjoy the rest of this video. I have pulled up, like, all the 5 stars I have for this year, and then a couple extra that I just know that I really love. So you're probably just gonna get a montage right now. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I thought it would. And, it's kind of interesting. Hold on, let me show you. So, I guess that I'm in a thriller mood because I could have picked any of my 5-star ratings, and all of them led to thrillers. So there are 4 books here. Then I have an audiobook from my library and an ebook that I have owned for months and haven't read yet. So I'm hoping to read all 6 of these books in this reading vlog because the audiobook is 3.5 hours or 4 hours, but I listen to my audiobooks at double speed, so that's like an afternoon nap almost. So I'm going to include the 4th one as well, or the 6th one as well. I need to learn to count. So let's start with the audiobook. Oddly enough, the audiobook and the ebook are by the same author. Just happened that way. Well, I mean, they're not. They're recommended because of a book by the same author. I need to clarify that. So, the 6 books, one was Lost by Natalie D. Richards, and I'll insert a picture right here. I'm going to be listening to The Last to Die by Kelly Garnett, which has been on my radar for so long. But it's about these group of teenagers that go camping, and one of them starts murdering the rest, maybe. It just started as a game, which I love games when it comes to my books. Then the other one by Natalie D. Richards was 6 Months Later, which was the first Natalie D. Richards book that I read, and I loved it. So that led me to Even If We Break. It's called Even If We Break, and it is a horror thriller, YA. A shocking thriller about a group of friends tied together by a game and the deadly weekend that tears them apart. 5 friends go to a cabin. 4 of them are hiding secrets. 3 years of history binds them. 2 are doomed from the start, and 1 person wants to end this. No one is safe. Are you ready to play? So we got a couple games and scary books, so I just continued with the thriller aspect. So since I liked No Exits, I was recommended Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. Funny story is that I'm supposed to be reading this right now anyway. I started it and I got to page 22. And then I stopped because my hold on the audiobook of this is going to give me the book tomorrow through the library. So I stopped for a few days. And is it cheating to use a book that I was already anticipating I wanted to read anyway? Maybe, but you know what? My channel, my rules, I don't care. So there's more than one way to end a marriage. I don't know a whole lot about my thrillers going into them. I just know that my friend Amanda recommended this to me. She actually is the one that sent it to me as a birthday present, and she thinks that I'm going to really like it. I think, if I remember correctly, the premise is, I think it's a domestic thriller, and this woman, Lila, is the last person to see her husband's body. But she didn't kill him, or did she? I really don't know anything, so. Editing Alita back, and Jellybean. So, I don't know why I didn't introduce the book, but you're going to have a little reading montage of me listening to an audiobook on this video, on this vlog. I'm listening to The Last to Die by Kelly Garrett, not whatever I called her earlier. So enjoy this reading montage.
Oh
this book, The Last to Die is what it's called. Let's see if you can see. Aha! The Last to Die by Kelly Garnett. Just kidding, Kelly Garrett. I had such high hopes for this one. I am 10 chapters from the end of this book, and it's a 4-hour audiobook, which I'm listening to at 2 times speed. And, I feel like I've been listening to this audiobook for hours. It is so endless. So, I'm not loving this book as of right now. It's about a bunch of stuck-up rich kids who play a game of breaking into people's houses and stealing stuff. And then something goes wrong and someone dies. And, I honestly don't care that anyone died. I don't care about these characters. And I kind of just feel like a heartless jerk for thinking that, but I just don't care about anything in this book as of yet. I'm definitely going to finish it tonight. I'm kind of working on portfolios and school stuff, so I will update you when I finish it, but as of now, Goodreads recommendation number 1 is a no-go. I finished listening to The Last to Die by Kelly Garrett. It was okay. I really liked the action at the end, and I kind of wish that there was more of that throughout this book, but I didn't love the characters. I really did not care about the characters at all. I think overall I'm going to give this a 3 stars. I feel good about that because the writing was really good and the setting was good, kind of atmospheric. It was a little bit slow, which I don't normally love in books. But it was okay, you know. If I wouldn't have read it, would I really care? Probably not, but I did read it, and it's nothing special. So, mediocre, 3 stars. What's that say about Goodreads recommendations? I guess we'll have to read another book to find out. Last reading update of the night. So I'm going to start my second book for the reading challenge of reading what Goodreads thinks I'll like. So I love No Exit by Taylor Adams, which is a high stakes, intense, action-packed horror thriller. There's a lot of horror elements in there. But it's about this girl, or this woman, who gets stuck in a snowstorm in Denver on her way home for Christmas. And she realizes she's not alone, that there is a car parked next to hers with a child in a cage. And so she wants to get involved. And who can you trust when you don't know anyone there? And there's... I just love everything about it. I can't tell you much more than that because spoilers, but it was great. So, since I liked No Exit by Taylor Adams, I will like Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane.
Several days later.
Good morning. Reading updates.
I made it 100 pages in, which is chapter 15. Let's see. Chapter 15.
Editing Alita again. I told you I'd be popping in a lot for this vlog. So, I have realized that when I was reading Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, I got so wrapped up in it that I gave you mini spoilers for this book. So, if that's something that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to hear, fast forward through the part of me talking about Pretty Little Wife. I will also put a spoiler warning at the parts that reveal things. I apologize, but I just got carried away. Enjoy the rest of this video.
This book is very gripping, and I feel like I know nothing at all, and I'm already 100 pages in. The writing is very addictive, and I love reading this. But I'm not quite sure that I trust the main character yet. So my theory, my prediction, I guess, about this book seems so easy that this can't be how it ends, but at this point in time, I don't know how this book can go a different direction. So you go back and forth from present day when Lila, when Lila's husband has gone missing, and she's not worried about it because she knows he's dead, or she thinks he's dead, but you're supposed to believe that she didn't kill him. And you go back and forth from like 2 weeks ago with her life with her husband, who is an abusive jerk, and that's putting it mildly. Like, he deserves a curse word, but I don't cuss, so that's kind of where I think it's going. I think I think Lila killed him. Okay, so I'm actually getting through this really quick. I'm about halfway. And now I'm more confused than ever about this book. Like, as the book started, I was 100% sure that Lila was crazy and that she's a very unreliable main character, which I love in thrillers because you have no idea what to believe. That's still a possibility, but she saw his body. Did she kill him? But his body's gone. So, what? So, I'm just so confused because I thought for sure that maybe she, like, killed her husband, because it says she was the last one to see his body. How would she be the last one to see his body if he was still alive. But yet his body's gone. This is so trippy. I have no clue what I'm supposed to think. Or what's going to happen. I'm still very much so liking the writing, and I'm very addicted to this book. So, halfway through, I'm just confused. It's very atmospheric. It's great writing. This has potential to be a 5-star read for me. It depends on how it ends. If it's like a terrible ending, or I don't know. If it ends the way that I thought it did, where she's just unreliable, I don't know, I might like that. Or, my other theory is that he faked his own death. So, as soon as Lila left his body, he just got up and ran away. But that doesn't make sense as to who he is as a character, because he is the macho, abusive husband who doesn't let his wife do anything or get away with anything. So if she was trying to kill him, or if she thought she stumbled upon a crime scene with his body. Oh, okay, I guess this is spoilers, so I will let you know early on in this video. If you're interested in these books, you know, you might not, I don't know, spoilers. Anyway, from the sounds of what happened, she killed him and made it look like a suicide, so she drove the car with his dead body in it and, like, stopped the exhaust in the car, or, like, something like that, you know. And he's supposed to be dead, but his body is gone. And so that means someone else is involved. I don't know. But I'm really enjoying it. So I will probably update you when I finish this book. Okay, I have a new prediction based on the fact that the nosy neighbor in Pretty Little Life has been in a similar situation as Lila, our main character, where her first marriage was abusive, and I just kind of thought she was just a nosy neighbor and she was kind of rude. But it turns out that she was actually looking out for Lila because she saw the signs of a abused wife, a battered wife, like she was in her first marriage. So I think that Aaron, the husband, went too far, and the nosy neighbor helped Lila kill him and make it look like a suicide, and now she's trying to mess with Lila, so she took the body, I don't know where she moved it to, but she took it so that if Lila is mean to her or like stabs her in the back or something, then she has Aaron's body and she can, you know, call the police and be like, hey, you know that missing husband, that missing guy you guys are looking for, I know where his body is, so that she can frame Lila. I don't know what her motive for wanting to frame Lila is, though. I'm still very confused. But our new prediction nosy neighbor is in on it. Or did it. She's involved somehow.
I finished Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, and I have no idea what I think about this book because it ended okay, so you follow Lila, who is a battered wife, and she uncovers the truth about her husband, which is that he is kidnapping young girls, like 17, 16 to early 20s, and he is raping them and killing them in this secluded cabin that his wifey didn't know about. And she finds out and she plans like the perfect crimes, because she finds out that he's not doing it alone, that his brother is a part of it too. And it was so intense, and it had me going so many different ways, because what you think happens is that Lila kills her husband and makes it look like a suicide. Only his body is never found. Or when his body is found, like weeks later, it is in this secluded cabin with a stab wound and this missing woman who had been murdered with him at the same time, and start this epic thriller. So I was recommended this because I liked No Exit by Taylor Adams. I definitely concur. I think that if you like one of them, you'll like the other one. This one was more of a slow a slow burn, intense ride, as opposed to No Exit is high. It's fast paced and never gives you room to breathe. This one makes you feel like you're suffocating when you're breathing because you don't know what's real, and you're trying to figure out what the heck happened in this book. And then the ending was just perfect. And then, since I did already give light spoilers, I'm just gonna give you some spoilers right now because I need to get my mind around this. The ending makes it seem like Lila already knew what her husband and her brother-in-law did, and she planned the two perfect murders, because she killed her husband, and what she wasn't expecting was for her brother-in-law to take his body and stab an already dead person to try and cover up the murder that she committed. And then, when you get everything in place, it just like, oh, they've basically, her husband Aaron and his brother Jared have this secluded cabin where his body was found. It's their property. And they have this hunting ground, as they call it, which is where they kidnap these kids and young 20-year-olds, you know, like early 20s, and they basically hunt them down to kill them, which is interesting to me because there was an episode of Law and Order SVU many years ago. If I can find what episode, I'll put it down here. But this guy would kidnap these young, I think in this show it was like teenagers, and he would hold them hostage, rape them, and then let them go on his property in this secluded cabin area, and then he would hunt them down and kill them. And a lot of similarities, but I am going to give this book 5 stars. So far, one really great recommendation, one which was okay. So the next clip is me closing out this reading vlog, and I did not ever update you on reading even if we break. It was on my Kindle, and so I read a Kindle book finally. I finished a Kindle book. But by premise, it sounded amazing. It's about this group of teenagers who go to this secluded cabin, and then they start playing this deadly game, and that sounds like perfect for what I like in my books. I did not love this book, though. The pros are the writing and the fact that there is so much representation in this book, because there's a trans character, a non-binary character, and different disabilities. There's a mental disability, there's panic disorder, and there is a disabled character. And although I really, really, really love the representation in the book, I kind of feel like it went in too many different directions that it didn't really know what it was trying to do. At times I felt like it was trying to scare me, and that's what I really, really wanted, but it just didn't quite make it there. And then it felt like a contemporary, and then it felt like it was like punching me in the gut, and it got lost somewhere in the mix of things. Reading update. We have officially finished 3 books that Goodreads recommended for us. So I think I was a little too ambitious when I said we were gonna read 6 books together for this video, because
That's a lot of books for one, and for two, this video is already going to be really long. So I think from now on this series that I'm starting of using different recommendation services, we're going to have 3 books per video because I feel like we can get a good sense of, one, if I liked the books, 2, if they're good recommendations based on the information that I gave them. Like, can I see why I was recommended that specific book, even if I end up hating it? And 3, do I recommend it to you? And I think that's how we're going to do all of these. So, we were recommended Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, and I loved it. So, you have a unreliable main character, which is one trope that I love. You don't know what to believe because you start off, right off the bat, Lila was the last person to see her husband's dead body. But his body's missing, and you're getting told the story of what happened from present day as they're investigating his case as a missing person, and flashbacks of when he was alive. What kind of a husband was he? And he was not a good husband. He was very, very abusive. So it led me to believe that she killed him, because she even says that she killed him. But if she killed him, what happened to his body? And why are these weird things happening to Lila? That is all that I can say. But, man, the ending just brought it all together. It was great. So, Goodreads did amazing recommending Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. And then the other books I read for this challenge, I don't remember what books they recommended these based off of, but there was The Last to Die by Kelly Garrett, which kind of reminded me of 10 by Gretchen McNeil, so that might be the book that it was based on. And then Even If We Break by Marika Ninjkamp. So I kind of saw The Last to Die and Even If We Break as very comparable stories in general, and I preferred The Last to Die. I gave that one 3 stars. Even If We Break, I can see why someone would recommend that to me, or why Goodreads recommended it to me, but it did not work in execution. You follow this group of 5 friends to this secluded cabin, which I love, a secluded mystery thriller. And I felt like the whole first 2/3 of the book were very slow, and I just didn't care all that much. I do have to say that Even If We Break had great representation of transgender, non-binary, disability, mental disability, and panic attacks. So it had a great cast of characters, but I did not think that execution of that book worked. It was trying to go in 10 different directions, so I didn't love that one. But I can see how Goodreads recommended it to me. And The Last to Die, I mean, it was okay. I was expecting higher stakes, more of like a horror story, but it was more kind of like, it was slow and not as action-packed as I wanted, but it wasn't a bad book. Would I recommend that you use Goodreads to find your next read? Heck yes, I always do, even when I'm not doing these videos. Goodreads helps determine if I'm going to buy a book or not, which is kind of silly if you think about it, because just because someone else doesn't like a book doesn't mean you won't. So maybe I should stop doing that, but will I? We'll see. Thank you so much for hanging out with me during this reading vlog. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, where we're always doing these bookish experiments talking about books, and maybe even starting educational content. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments below, and put a dog emoji down below to tell Jellybean that you say hi to him. That way I can be like, oh look, we got 2 dog comments. That means they like you more than they like me.